Welcome back to the Sonic Unleashed commentary, and
Fuck my life.
we are going back to Professor Pickle's office. Hi, Amy. Why,
Hey, John,
thank you.
John, I have to say something, but you did at not one point did you say "fuck my life" at the start of a Sonic Boom part. So by the transient property,
I
you
was
think
more
this game is worse
making
than Sonic
fun of a Lewis's dialect.
I'm sorry, I do tend to sound a bit deadpan, don't I?
Welcome back to Sonic Unleashed. We hate our lives and all of you.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Well, it did take us 6 years to get to this game. Yeah, remember when we started and this was the most recent Sonic game and we were going to do it like soon?
Well, it's funny, because when this game first came out, like the first year or so, I would have been so psyched to commentate over it, because I loved the game so much at the time, but it hasn't aged particularly well compared to the other modern Sonic games. Well, in this generation, I mean.
You can say it doesn't age particularly well about a lot of Sonic games, but not about a lot of Sonic games made before, like, 2005. Well, so, you know.
Well, no, let's just say every Sonic game before Unleashed has aged badly. Let's just say that.
Yeah, in this case, what I'm talking about is the gameplay, though. Because when we say Sonic Adventure 1 aged badly, what we're mostly talking about is the graphics and presentation. Sonic's actual control and the way his levels play
I think,
is
yeah,
still
and the
pretty
adventure,
wonderful.
I think the only way in which the gameplay of the adventure games hasn't aged well is kind of the glitchiness, because those games can be a little bit, not like game-breakingly glitchy like '06 or anything, but there are points where, you know, the game can act a little bit weird. Like, control-wise, it seems to be pretty
Yeah.
okay
Well,
still to
there
this
are
day.
points where like the walls are. I mean, anyone who's been watching Game Grumps' SA1.
Oh no, you
playthrough will
mentioned
see
it! You
that.
mentioned it!
Well, no,
Ah!
I'm only say because I only watched part one, and there are parts where like Sonic glitches through the floor in Emerald Coast, but that's happened to me. Like, and I love SA1. Like, I have the such like fan boner, like nostalgia glasses for that game, but there's points in that game where it's just pathetically badly programmed.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll give you that. When I first played, actually the first time I played Emerald Coast, hideously bad luck here. I actually phased through the floor in an auto-running sequence.
Several times
Yeah.
it happened to me
Yeah,
as well.
it's always. It doesn't happen all the time, but enough to be concerned about. The loop before you run from the whale.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've
that's
clipped-
the one we're all talking
Yeah,
about.
Yeah.
I've clipped through that a few times.
It's weird though, because it's mostly just on the DX version, which in this day and age is the version that anyone new to it just plays. It is odd how the Dreamcast version was slightly less buggy than that one. it's like what?
Well, generally, whenever you go to through a porting process, there tends to be bugs. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's actually not too surprising when you think about it. Although it's kind of odd that there aren't too many differences in like bugs when it comes to Adventure 2 and Adventure 2 Battle, right? It's mostly a one for one.
They were made so close to it. Like between like SA1, there was like a 5-year gap before they ported it. It's like they released SA2, and then I think like a year later they retrofitted it for like the GameCube and shit. So yeah, I think like the same team worked on that, whereas with SA1, it was like a different team was brought in to like port it over, I believe.
Yeah, and that always leads to issues.
Yeah. Although let's just be very thankful that they changed the texture for the Station Square train station. I love those bricks. Love those bricks in the DX version. Looks so fucking good.
Yeah, Wentos is, by the way, this is the point where you can actually start buying stuff from Wentos. Wentos has some souvenirs and records for you to get, so
So
you might
what?
want to do that.
Okay, what is this Wentos trick that I hear about?
Okay, well, we sort of got into it in the earlier part, but there pretty much at certain times it's not guaranteed, but there are times where Wentos sells something so cheap that when you sell it back to another customer, you're getting a profit. So
Capitalism, baby.
yeah, there you go. Fuck yeah,
And-
gotta get like 99 chili dogs, but you can abuse that so that you can get a shitload of food items for Sonic to eat and level up very easily doing it.
Okay.
That's what I've done because fuck leveling up the Warehog to max. It takes forever, man. It's a pain in the ass.
Have you done it?
Yeah, I've done it to get the achievement and all that shit. But and a fully maxed out Warehog is pretty ridiculous.
Well, I went and fed him my ice cream. Not sure if I was supposed to do that.
Well, looks like I'm starving tonight.
Well, I thought I know you're giving all of this stuff to Chip, but I thought forgive me because it's been like a week since you recorded the last. But I thought you said you get more points if you give food to Sonic rather than Chip.
You get experience points for giving food to Sonic. You get friendship points for giving food to Chip.
Who
Which
cares
amounts to
about?
absolute shit.
Who gives a fuck about Chip? He's gonna be spoiled. He's gonna be dead in like another hour. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, but there is actually something that you get for achieving friendship points with Chip. Once you're at a certain friendship threshold, if you give him a food item in a certain location, and there are 3 of these, he'll give you a videotape, and you can watch certain little CG shorts in Professor Pickle's office, and they're pretty amusing.
I love those short. I mean, I think I brought it up in the previous part, but this game clearly had a bigger budget than like every other game put together. Just the amount of extra shit. Like those little shorts are fantastic.
And they're not in the main game at all. You have to.
No, you have
get
to
them.
work for them. Which
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're in the Wii version or not, because like you don't have this food section in that. So I'm not sure if they're in there or not.
I have no idea. Also, for some reason, you have to buy 2 audio systems in this game. One for Shamar and one for Spagonia. One of them is a record player, and the other is a different style of record player.
I love how Sonic just walked into that chest and exploded.
Oh man,
I
no
will
kidding.
say one small thing. I think in the Wii version, you don't have to buy like a VCR or like a music player. I think as soon as you unlock like movie 1 or music 2, you can just listen to them. Which I kind of just prefer that. Like, don't make me work for that shit. You know.
Yeah.
I
Although at some point in the game, you're just going to have you're just going to have such a ridiculous goddamn number of rings that buying the audio system and the video player doesn't really matter at all.
Well, you said that in Rooftop Run, you could easily get like over 1,000.
Over 1,000 rings in one run. Yeah.
That's
if
maybe
good.
this is just due to me playing other Sonic games mostly. That just sounds obscene. Like
It sounds beyond obscene. Like in most of these levels, you end with like 600 rings, which was already obscene by classic game standards.
Oh please,
But-
you guys haven't played Sonic Runners.
Classic
I don't
game
think that's an apt
standards,
comparison.
Not
Hey,
mobile
classic,
game standards.
Classic Sonic's in that game, Lewis. Ipso facto, it's a classic game. My logic is flawless. Fuck you.
it's just in most other Sonic games, like in the adventure games, it's a good run if you end with like 300. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, because I think it's in a. Is it SA2 where like they actually show you how many rings are in each level and it's never more?
Yeah.
it's
There's a perfect ranking where if you get all of the rings in a level, you get an instant A rank.
Well,
regardless of how long it took.
because of the multiple paths, you're not gonna get all the rings as Sonic in any of the stages.
Yes.
Besides Metal Harbor.
Yeah, I was about to say you can't in Metal Harbor,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you.
which I've done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do it with Knuckles or Tails more easily, but not with Sonic.
There might be ways to get it in the other levels, and some really dedicated YouTube
Yeah, I was gonna
gamer
say,
might
there's
have-
probably YouTube videos over
Yeah,
it, so.
but it's not. It's something that's so absurdly difficult that you might as well just go for the A rank the regular way.
It's probably
So-
easier.
Yeah.
I have to say, when you exited that place, like the lighting, there's certain sections where like the Hedgehog engine just looks so freaking beautiful. And
Yeah.
That part was one of them. That sunset like undulating. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Bring it back, Sega. Bring it back.
What
please.
engine did they use for Generations?
Generations and Lost World technically uses the Hedgehog engine, but it's so watered down. It's nowhere near. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
as we've talked about, like it's so good it like fucks up the frame rate, and so like Sega wanted a consistent, especially from Lost World. Lost World does run at that perfect 60 frames, but like it looks nothing. It doesn't look
Compared to how that game looks compared to Unleash.
I know, 'cause
Yeah.
the graphic style. I mean, I get
Yeah.
that's the art style. The art style was going for a more classic, cartoony, basic look, and that's fine because that's the style. But something like Generations still looks good, but like imagine Generations with like this engine, this like lighting engine.
Isn't there a mod that
Yeah,
re-enables
the
it?
the Unleash project.
There's like seven fan projects doing that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when you break it down, yeah, there's like 7 or 8 of them. But
I
yeah,
think the Unleashed project is the biggest one. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm terrible at PC gaming. Like, I can't use I don't have
Yeah.
a PC controller. I don't want to buy one because I'm cheap. But I'd love it if Sega just remade Unleashed and made it good.
Yeah. To be honest, though, I'm kind of surprised the PC version of this of Generations doesn't doesn't just have the option to enable the Sonic Unleashed lighting system in the first place, because they could totally have done that and let you just turn it off or turn it down.
I'm not sure. I'm not a pro. I'm not sure if that would have caused more work for the programmers, because then they would have had to basically essentially work on 2 different lighting styles.
Well, no.
I
Well,
wouldn't
this
say
is
so,
something
because-
that
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm just asking.
The lighting
Stop shouting at me,
engine.
Lewis, I don't know.
The lighting engine in PC games is usually like one of the big things that is a a variable you can change in the options menu to get your performance up.
Yeah, but but wouldn't that be more for games made specifically with the PC models? Obviously, Generations, it's just a port of the console version. So I'm not sure if they would. I mean, I'm sure most times Sega don't really think of the PC version. It's just like, we can port this to PC and make some more money, as it were. So I'm not sure if in the
that's what
stages...
Warner Brothers thought, apparently. Oh, topical reference, yeah.
Maybe not when this actually airs on the YouTubes, but at the moment, yes, topical reference did.
At this point, I was just really feeling how not platformy Sonic's control in this game is.
Again, Sonic, he controls great for when you are literally like Sonic's control in this would have been great if the game was nothing but 06 Mark speed sections. Yeah. But I mean, I've just seen in previous parts when Lewis has to stop and get medals and downstairs and shit.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, the first time playing this, I was
this level. Can I just say fuck this level the first time you play it?
Shamar is my least favorite daytime stage.
Yeah.
But damn, is it gorgeous in the city part.
No, it's like,
right.
Once you've got it memorized and you can flow through it, it's really fun to play. But the first time you play it, this is like the one level where I'll say the game's level design is not very
There's
good.
so much shit in the way. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
That and the QuickTime events start getting really fast.
Well, we're past the halfway point of the game, so
Well,
I
Lewis,
suppose it
they are
does make
called
sense.
quick time events.
The things in the way are not even obstacles. It's just architecture.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you. It just stops you, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, it's one of the weird quirks of Sonic Unleashed's gameplay is that when you run into an object, even a small one, or a person that happens to be standing in the way,
That would kill someone. Like,
it would. But in this game, when it's a boosting Sonic and a stationary human being, the human being always wins.
Yeah, if their soul is pure, they'll be fine.
so what breaks first, the unstoppable object or oh, I forget how it goes.
The unstoppable force or the immovable object.
It looks like the
Yeah.
immovable object wins.
Also,
Good work, Ted. Good work.
For the
Seamless,
last
my friend, seamless.
half a year or so, I've also been playing Sonic Generations a lot. So apart from not being used to having the homing attack on a different button, I'm also not used to the drifting control here. And this is the point in the game where the levels start requiring drifting all over the place.
I'm not a fan. I mean, obviously, this was the first game to really to feature it, and so at this point in time, we had nothing to compare it to. And I think we brought that up in the earlier part, but compared to Generations, the drift in this game is just terrible.
Yeah, but it was easy enough for me the first time I played it.
I mean, it's not.
But,
it's not like the drifting isn't. It's not like broken. It's just like when you. It's like To be fair, every time I play Colors or Generations and I come back to this afterwards, the control just feels wrong. In so many ways,
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It feels different, and just by pure muscle memory and the feel of Sonic, you kind of expect him to drift in a different way than he does because of the way Generations handles.
Well, the drifting, it's so Sonic's always he's always portrayed and viewed as like a very agile character, but the drifting's really sluggish, which is
Sonic feels like he has a lot of weight in this game.
Yeah, the fat bastard.
I think it's more that he feels like he drives like a racing game, and Sonic isn't a car, and you don't expect him to move like a car, I guess is the problem I've always had.
Well, that and he's not as heavy as a car, so even though he drives like a racing game, he doesn't handle like one. Ah, god damn it. You see, I can't precisely... I can't precisely steer myself to get that very small item,
Yeah, I mean... I think to me, the first time when I play a new Sonic game, the first thing I'll do in the first level is I'll just walk around to get like a feel of his controls. And playing Unleashed for the first, my first one was the Wii version.
Ah, I missed.
But my first the first time playing it, I expected him to control like SA1, and so for first level I'm just like walking around, and I'm just like, why why is he so awkward controlling?
It's very stiff.
It's so stiff, and turning around feels more like a Resident Evil game. We have to like stand still, like very slowly turn. Like, why is Sonic controlling like Chris Redfield, even though they would one day be voiced by the same person? Bringing it back.
Oh man. On the subject of that, though, Roger Craig Smith does actually, as Sonic, manage to not sound like Chris Redfield for once, and I'm glad for that.
Yeah, I do like Roger Craig Smith. To be honest, I don't know if I really have a favorite Sonic voice actor, because I do think that each one has better roles and worse roles. Like, I think Ryan Drummond isn't great in SA1, but he's better in SA2.
You bite your tongue. I think he's the best he is in SA1. Before his voice got really high pitched in like Heroes and shit.
Well, we can respectfully disagree. Mine's the respectful part because fuck
no,
you,
you're an
Jared.
idiot and a piece of shit, Ted.
Yeah.
Your favorite game's SA2. Go fuck yourself.
A rivalry that will never end.
I imagine we'll work our way back around to the adventure games soon enough, but I think I just cut forward to Sonic.
Sonic's sick of our shit. Get a move on.
Like these two fucks are fighting again.
The Drummond discussion again.
Oh, now we can go to America.
What are you talking about? There was apparently like 20 original colonies in like 18 states right now.
I think the reason I cut forward to that point was that I actually spent some time running around the Hub City area and then realized during editing that it would have been a long stretch of boring nothing happening, so I cut it out.
Is this just the video quality for this particular part, or is
No,
the frame
this
rate...
is for some reason this area, this fountain area in the Empire City, despite being pretty small and not all that busy, the water just slows the frame rate down to like 20 frames per
20
second.
frames.
I can recognize that on sight because that was the way Final Fantasy XIV was playing for me before I updated my graphics card.
It's weird. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's just because there's nothing story-wise here, or maybe because this version wasn't in the Wii version. But yeah, Empire City, it's the hub worlds especially are so bad. Not bad in terms of that level, just like it looks like shit.
I would actually find the people.
Wolverine!
I would actually find the people in the Americaland hub world slightly offensive in their stereotypicalness, if the stereotypes weren't mostly true.
Logan, what did you do? Wait, why are you in the America level? You're Canadian. Get out of here.
Deaf Big.
What
the?
Wait.
I'm sorry. That is almost as bad as the shop owner in 06. Yo.
Hey.
No, you know what? It's like they took that sound effect from Sonic 06 and made a rap out of it.
And just
there's Def Big, Biggie Def, 3-Pac.
You know what? I like to in my head canon. That guy we just saw is the shop owner from 06. He just put on a lot of weight.
Yeah, times are hard.
Soliana, you had to move out.
That's the problem when you have a shop that only shows items specific to one person who doesn't live in that city.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get
and don't call it the Sonic store.
You're not gonna get a lot of customers,
Well, no, Sonic Man might buy.
Two customers.